What's up, guys? This is Pedro from My Stuttering Life. On this podcast, we are going to talk about our challenges and our triumphs, and so that anyone around the world can truly know that you are not alone. So let's get started. This is episode number 153, and my special guest is Andrea Navarra. Andrea is a 35-year-old Italian living in Malta with an inspiring journey from nursing to environmental sustainability. Andrea opens up about his lifelong experience with stuttering, his challenges, the therapies, and the confidence he's built along the way as he continues discovering new ways to manage and embrace his voice. I am honored to have him as a guest with me on the My Stuttering Life podcast. Welcome, Andrea Navarra.
Hello, everybody. And thank you, Pedro, for giving me this opportunity to share my story on your amazing podcast.
This is a huge honor. I thank you. We have a bunch of topics to go over, so let's get started. All right, sir? So do you recall your earliest memory of stuttering?
Yes, sure. Well, I will say that I do remember the first time that I stuttered, but surely I have an early memory of such. So my mom, she used to tell me that I used to stutter when I went to elementary school. That was about when I was about 5-6 years old. So since then, yes, I do have memories in which I remember stuttering. In particularly, there was an episode that, if I'm not mistaken, I was about 6 or 7 years old, in which I was impersonating Peter Pan. And I do remember that in this occasion I did the stutter while I was acting. But I have let's say then I have stronger memories from some years past that experience. So from 9-10 years old. Yeah.
Okay, Andrea Navarro. You know, I roll the R's. Andrea Navarra.
No, all right, exactly.
It's what I do. I'm Pedro. I'm Hispanic. All right. So you, when I heard that you had played Peter Pan on stage, and then you did not stutter, correct?
Well, no. I
stuttered?
played
Okay,
and
gotcha.
I stuttered.
Okay.
So yes. So I remember that occasion because I stuttered. So that was my
Here is the crazy part, Andrea. This is the crazy part. When I am on stage, when I am an actor on stage, I am not Pedro. I am that actor, and so therefore I do not stutter. I don't know why. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know the brain chemistry of it all. But when I'm on stage, I'm not Pedro. I am that specific character, and I don't stutter at all. I mean, every single line comes out. It's crazy, Andrea. It's crazy.
Yeah, sure. It's something that is not the first time that I'm hearing it, because indeed I heard that some people actually started acting and learning theater theater practices and acting because of stuttering, because it will help them on a stage. And I can relate that in a couple of occasions. Actually, it was like that, because I remember that I did my dissertation when I was about 24, and there were like, I don't know, I can't remember, but for sure there were around 150 people in front of me, and I remember that I did not stutter even on a single word in that occasion, and it was a 30 minutes presentation. I do remember also some other occasions in which I had to present, so to my mates, and it was really well. But that's not, unfortunately, it's not every time that I give a presentation that I do not stutter. In fact, I did think about to participate to theaters. I mean, to theaters community to try it out, but I never got to it actually. But perhaps, but I also heard that yes, it does not. That perhaps you do stutter less, but then once you get out of that person, as soon as you stop impersonating that person, then your stutter comes again. So I don't know if there is really an improving point, but for sure, I mean, if you do not stutter doing that experience, for sure it can be a relief, and so at least you enjoy communicating in that space.
Oh, sir, 100%, 100%. And then also, I heard a story about there is an actor, Samuel L. Jackson, and he had a stutter. I mean, he had a stutter. But what he did, and this is crazy, what he did is that he replaced it with a curse word. And so every word, I guess, was a curse word. and I guess he overcame it, because I don't hear him anymore stuttering. But I mean, yeah, he he does curse a lot, and so I don't know. I mean, it's just it's a head scratcher. I mean, it's a head scratcher. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because when you go to a therapy, you always see on these walls, when you go to a clinic for stuttering, there is always, a picture on the wall with all these VIPs, that stutter. And but then thinking about, as an adult again, I think about, but perhaps was not really the stuttering that should have stopped them from becoming VIPs. I mean, if they're VIPs, maybe they have something more that other people don't have. So stuttering was not an issue, But generally speaking, it's a lot of speech therapy clinic, try to communicate this part as, as you can do it, if he did, you can do it too.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been there. Yes. Okay. Does it run in your family? Are there any other family members who also have a stutter?
Yes, sure. Basically, my mom told me that my father had a stutter, but I do not have really clear memories of my father stuttering. And my sister, she has it. So out of 5 siblings, me and my sister, we have it. So we were the unlucky ones in this case. I mean, unlucky, or we were, or we were maybe the lucky ones, seeing from another perspective.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You had talked about a speech therapy, and so I want to ask you, was it helpful?
Well, yeah. So let's put it in this way. So my mom, when she found out, let's say that my stuttering was, let's say, creating, some personal issues at the school, and this stuff. So my mom, she took me to speech therapy, which now having experience, which having having knowledge on what therapies are out there and so on. This particular therapy, it was really focused on fluency, you know. All right. So that was speech pathology, let's say. So I did that for a while. So it was useful because while she was while this speech pathology was teaching me about the debriefing technique, she said, "Do you have are you actually putting your back straight to the wall?" And I said, "Yes." "Yeah, you are sure?" "Yeah, sure." And then she found out that basically I had one leg shorter than the other, so and that's so I had to go for a treatment for that. So in that sense, yes, it was helpful. Then so let's say so my so this was my first experience with trying to adjust my speech. The second one was about 2 years later, which it was a combination of fluids speech. Is it called speech fluency, speech language therapy? Yes. So the second one was speech language therapy associated with a kind of relaxation technique. Okay, which at that time I did not understand really well since I was really young, you know. So I was completely, I don't think it was the right fit for me, particularly at that age. And then when I was 18, I decided myself to do a therapy in Rome. So basically, there was this guy who was teaching a technique, which came up in TV. It was actually really great. This technique, it was basically a technique which is used in theater, okay, for to make sure that all words are articulated really well. And so I did this when I was 18. So I went to Rome. I went to Rome and I stayed in this group for let's say for two weeks. It was a really great experience because it was basically they had a formula that if you were happy with the treatment, you wouldn't pay for it. So and then obviously if you were you had paid you would pay this contribution. Basically that I don't think that I never used the technique at 100% throughout my years, but that gave me so much confidence that even if I was stuttering, that would not stop me, from doing all my activities. So that was a really great push for me in terms of speech and my confidence for good 10 years. Yeah.
How cool. And I mean, you know what? I tell everyone this. I tell everyone this. And many good coach will also tell you that if you want to improve on anything, you have to practice. You have to practice. And so, I mean, I've had 20 years, Andrea, of speech therapy. I've a lot of speech therapy. And so what you're hearing is 20 years of really hard work. And so, but what I also added into it is meditation, and, it is super important. And then also I read out loud every day. I read out loud for at least half an hour. I read out loud. And I mean, it helps me in all aspects. It helps me as a voice actor. It just helps me, in, all aspects of my life. And so, I tell everybody, practice. So, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, in my case, you said, I believe that if I practice, it's because I create an, let's say, mechanism which is unconscious, in the sense that if I do practice, it's because I'm telling myself behind, look, you are doing something for it, you are trying to strive to improve it, so that's it. But the problem is that all these techniques that I learned at the moment of stuttering, seems like, I can't control them, so everything falls down, so that's why probably I never got to practice really hard. It depends. I mean, in some, at times I really practiced every day for 3 months, 4 months, but then there was always a point in time where I didn't see anymore the point of doing it, because when I wanted to put them into practice in the needed moment, it didn't work. So that was the issue. Also, I think that the therapy that I was telling you before, it's a therapy that I learned. I mean, it's a technique which I learned in Italy, and actually it works really well in Italian, because it depends how you articulate. I tried to apply that to English or other languages that I know, and it just doesn't work, or it doesn't work. But also I did another therapy when I was living in the Netherlands in 2019. So that's already 6 years ago. This technique, basically, it was again speech fluency, which was based on prolongation, and I learned particularly about the psychological aspects of stuttering. It was really, really cool to learn a lot about it, but again, I didn't find it really useful. But what I have seen in this less traditional technique, speech pathology, which was like, okay, Andrea, I mean, the trainer was telling me, look, when you feel that the fluency is there, don't control it. Don't try to control it, because you're gonna make it worse. So in a way, it was already something that was less conservative, And still now, I mean, I still want to do something that is new, and I'm following also another podcast. I don't know if I can say it.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go. It's all good.
Okay. Great. So this podcast is called, I think it's an American podcast. It's called The Stuttering Mind, and it does. I mean, and they interview a lot of speech pathologists, people that have their full career into stuttering, but at some point you just get confused, because there are so many therapies that you can do, so many trainings that you can follow, that that it's really hard to choose to pick one of them. But in the positive side, I can tell that by following this podcast, I came to know that a lot of techniques and a lot of let's say therapies are not focused anymore influencing, but rather on the person. And I think, and I really agree on that. I think that stuttering, it's yes, it is a disorder, okay, but I think since it impacts a lot of different sphere of the person, I think it's also important to care about those, and not just the physical part, which is the word which is coming out. So I think by fixing the others, automatically perhaps you can fix the stuttering too. I mean, what I mean for fixing is something that it does not affect you, okay? That you're not bothered by it, okay? Because I don't believe that fluency should be fixed, okay? Unless it is what you want to achieve.
Ooh, I mean, I agree, sir. I agree. And so I am a little curious. All right, so you are Italiano, okay, and so
Yes.
English is, not your native tongue, and so I want to ask you this because I speak English and Spanish and Turkish, and so I stutter in all languages. So I'm curious, in your uh, you know, in your native language, do you also stutter as well?
Absolutely, yes, sir. Yes. So I make sure that I stutter internationally, So I make sure to stutter on all the languages that I do speak.
I'm right there with you, Andrea. Buongiorno, buongiorno. I've been practicing. All right.
Good, great.
Okay, now, I want to talk about school life because, as you know, school, is kind of hokey pokey for everybody, but for us, if you have a stutter, school is a little bit more challenging. How did you handle school with having a stutter?
Yeah. So basically, school has the memories that I do have still. I think I was one of those usual people who stutter when the when the teacher was trying to tell to someone to read, I was kind of hiding myself, and trying to put my face under the desk, or behind my backpack. And so yeah, so more or less it was in that way. All the school life, I think. Once I remember that a teacher told me, because this teacher saw that I was struggling to read aloud, and the teacher told me, and I was completely blocked at some point. And the teacher told me, perhaps, Andrea, have you ever tried to go to see your eyes? Probably you cannot, you can see probably the words on the book, and I was like, all right, what's going on here? But so for sure I lived those school years, in this way, and I remember them as a struggle, to read aloud. But what I'm thinking back, I find surprising that no one of the teachers, ever approached me to say, okay, Andrea, how is it going? Do you, do you need any help, or how is it for you? Now thinking, as I am 35 years old, it's something that I would like to expect for someone who started, that needs to be supported, at school.
Ooh, because I don't have to tell you, Andrea, school, having to read out loud. No, thank you. And check, please. Pedro's out. Pedro gone. Because I did it one time, Andrea. That's it. You never forget that type of trauma. Never. So, yeah, it's, school is, just it is for us that have a stutter. It's, a little bit more rough. It's rough. So.
Yeah. And I think that you kind of bring this trauma just as the others with you. But I don't know if it has ever been done a study. Probably yes. But that being that you go to school every day, and acknowledging that you might need to read at some point during your 5 hours of class, or 6 hours, how long it is. I think if you can track it, probably it does create some trauma. It's a process. It's a very long process of schooling. It's every year. It goes during most of the months in the years. So I do believe that you drag it out, probably towards your adult life, if you do not overcome during school. So I do believe that it is really important that that there will be people who know, teachers in particular, that have to be trained, on stuttering, just as they are trained probably in on other disability or also.
Sir, 100%. It's all about education and awareness. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a big question. All right, so here we go. So, in relation to people who have a stutter, what advice or a guidance would you offer for parents, teachers, and speech therapists?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the first thing that I would say is look at the person which is beyond that stutter. It is really, really important. Focus on the message that is being passing through you, and always approach them with empathy, not with sympathy, with empathy, because it is really, really important. I mean, just as with other people, you don't know what they are going through, all right? But I mean, with people who stutter, it is much more visible, so you are able to tell that something is going through. So I think it is really important, particularly for teachers, that there must be a support in the school. Also because kids spends a lot of time into school, much more than they spend with their parents. So it is really crucial that schools, that the personnel is trained on it. I know how to approach. I know they must know how to make people who stutter comfortable at school, because also, I mean, they might experience other relational issues with kids, and kids are not really, they're not really kind always, particularly in the elementary school, they're not understanding. So, and for parents, I think education, it needs to be there. I mean, education on stuttering has to be there. Fortunately, there's a lot of resources now out there. It's amazing how many resources there are compared to when I was a kid. And I think, Pedro, you can relate to it. I mean, now you can just go on YouTube and write stuttering, and it will come up so many sources, which probably now we have the other issue in the other way, which they are probably overwhelming. I mean, perhaps for parents, obviously, it is a bit more difficult, since they are personally involved compared than teachers that they are doing their jobs. I can understand the frustration that sometimes as a parent you just want to pull the words out for your kids, and I can understand that, and that's why parents have the responsibility, I think, to know how to care of that part.
Oh yes, sir, 100%, and that is awesome advice and guidance. I thank you for that, sir. All right, so we are going to switch gears just a little bit, and so I want to talk about employment and jobs. So, had you ever faced discrimination because of your stutter, and how did you handle that?
Absolutely, sir. But I know that there were a lot of jobs in which I was the perfect profile. I mean, the perfect now. Probably it was pretty far optimistic, but I was a good candidate for job positions, and I mean, clearly, I mean, for example, I was not getting the feedback from the recruiter on why they had decided not to continue with my interviewing process. There were jobs that they did not reply at all. There were occasions in which I was asked how I would deal with my stuttering on the job, which clearly is not the case to ask. I mean, you're not gonna ask, to someone who is on a wheelchair, so if they can go around, So I think it should be just in the same way. But in that case, probably I did appreciate the honesty, at some point that you start to appreciate the honesty, then the recruiters, who don't give you a feedback back. So yes, for sure, I did experience, this kind of personal, impingements on in employment. All right, but I mean, my let's say my my value and philosophy, it is always based on keeping going, because I think it's the only way, you cannot be stopped by other people, who judge you based on stuttering. So yeah. But I mean, still, I think there is. I mean, people who stutter have are limited, on career choices, on promotions, and they are seen in another way. So I think that there's still a lot to be done in this in the employment space, and career wise.
Oh yes, sir. Because when I was growing up, in 1989, way before your time, Andrea, way before your time, all of our jobs were on a newspaper, and it would have on there, must have excellent communication skills. So let that sink in, Andrea. Must have excellent communication skills. So I crossed out like a 98% of all the jobs that I felt that I could do. That I would be awesome, but it's just that one thing. So, but it is what it is. I worked as a driver. I worked in data entry. So, I worked my way up. And so, I proved that I can do the job. And so, yeah. But it is, hard because, I always have to educate people. Always. Because there are still people out there who don't know what a stutter is. What is stuttering? So, I take the time and I educate. Here's what you're going to see because, my arms go everywhere, my eyes close. And then here is what you're going to hear. Some repetition, some prolongations. I click and I tick and I do a whole bunch of, but that's just me, Andrea. It's just Pedro.
Exactly.
I'm awesome.
Exactly.
And you're awesome.
And
we're always awesome.
Yeah, we are. Absolutely, sir. At the end of the day, it's just I think a lot of it's time pressure, and that's the in the end of the day, stuttering just causes, say, if you see it externally, it's just causes probably a bit of delay, in the communication. So in the end of the day, that's how I think it should be seen. But many interviewers, do not see as that, and as many other people, So yeah, so I think that yes, for stutterers, careers up to now, for now, it's still a steep path compared to non-stutterer, but I hope that it will change. I think that's you are. As you are saying, this can only improve by education, by showing us ourselves, because out there, because obviously there is a lot of stutterer which I think they're not showing themselves out there, and that's creative also. If a good chunk of stutterers are are not seen. We're not gonna have a good representation.
Yes, and I mean, so I am a teacher, so I'm a trainer. So I do 4-hour PowerPoint presentations. 4 hours. Andrea Navarra. 4-hour PowerPoint as a person who has a stutter. 4 hours talking out loud to professionals. And a lot of people told me, Andrea, a lot of people, Pedro, you don't know how to talk, so you cannot do that job. And so in my head, I'm like, watch me, because I want this more than anything. I want this. And so I went for it and I got it. And what I have learned, Andrea, because I had never done this before in my life, I have found the joy of teaching. When I tell you at the end, I mean, it is, look what I did. Look what I did. And then also I hear this, a bunch of applause. I hear applause from everybody. I'm like, wow, look what I did. Look what I did. And so, I mean, it is just awesome because I have come a long way. I've worked hard. I've had ups and downs and downs and downs and downs and ups but all of it has helped me to where I am today because I am a teacher trainer with a stutter. But who cares? Who cares? I mean, so what I do before every presentation, 4 hours, I tell everybody, hi, good morning. I'm Pedro Pena. I'll be your trainer for today. And I do have a stutter. So this is what you're going to see. This is what you're going to hear. And if I get hung up on any word, I want you to give me 8 hours. Hopefully it'll come out. But if you know what Pedro is trying to say, just help out Pedro. And so, I mean, it all works out because once I put it out there, it puts everyone at ease. It brings all of their anxiety to just all the way down. Because look, we are going to have a great time. I will teach y'all and you will learn, but in a way that is positive. And humor. I love humor. I use humor all the time. It works for me. I can only speak for me. It works for Pedro. And so I do that.
Sure.
At each 4-hour presentation, I do it because it's all about education and awareness. If you don't know what it is, and when I'm on stage and you don't hear anything and my eyes close and my arms go up, I want you to know I'm not having a stroke. I'm not having a seizure. I'm just having a block. And the crazy part, Andrea, behind me is a screen. Okay. So all of the words are there. So I just point to the word with the clicker with the red dot, and someone from the audience will help Pedro out.
Why not?
So,
why not?
It all works out.
As long as you get the job done. It all
works out because I believe that teamwork makes the dream work. And so,
exactly.
It is what it is. But I just enjoy teaching because we have a great time.
Perhaps being that I've attended so many presentations, I think probably having a teacher, a stutter teacher, probably it breaks it brings that boring time that you have to listen. So probably you will be even more captivating, compared to the people. And let me tell you, I do use your phrase, because I am in my job. I do also have to train people, okay? And when I do know new people, when I do meet new people to train, I also use your phrase and your sentence. I say, if I get hung up, it's not a stroke. So please don't get worried, So I own you on that one.
100%, Andrea. Oh man, you're making me cry. That's so awesome. Okay. Ooh, that's awesome.
But I do have a question for
Yes,
you
sir.
on
Yes,
that.
sir. Always.
If I can, if you allow me. Does it get easier for you after you you deliver the same training for let's say after the time, or it changes every time
Okay, so
your content?
that's a great
your training?
question. So I have been doing this for 8 years. It's the same information for 8 years. The same information. I still block. I still repeat. I mean, every day is, you know, a completely different, but I mean, I have been teaching the same content for 8 years. And here's the crazy part. I know every single word of every single PowerPoint training. I memorized every single word. But still, I have it in a huge screen behind me, and so I'm holding a a clicker that has a red dot. So if I get hung up on any word, I'll just point to that word, and someone out of the audience will help me out. I mean, it is what it is. I have no control. I mean, uh, control is an illusion, in my opinion. I have no control whatsoever. It happens when it happens. It is 100% completely all random. It's random because.
And yes, and I can relate completely to you. I mean, because I was experiencing it. Because probably I was expecting since it's been a year and a half now that I train on the same presentation, which is like an hour long, and I do, and I mean, and I also have So I thought that after the third time, the fourth time, it would have been it would easy the path to teach to teach this presentation. But then I when you speak when if you relate to other to other aspects and to other fields, the more you say, the more you let's say you face your fear, the more you practice it, and the more you should get to improve it. And so I'm really happy because I can relate to you on on this, and I really sympathize on it because for me it's just the same. I expect to get easier, but then I get hung up on the same words. I say, how come is this? I've been doing this now for a year and a half.
100%, Andrea. 100%. I'm right there with you. Believe me, I'm right there with you. Yeah, it's just, you know what? It is what it is. I have no control over anything. Yeah. I just keep on trucking. That is what I do, Andrea.
Exactly.
Okay, so, all right. I want to talk about some ADLs, and these are activities of daily living. And so I want to ask you, how do you handle the telephone? How do you handle ordering at a restaurant? And then also, how do you handle going through a drive-through, or as it's called over there, a takeaway? How do you handle all those on a telephone, at a restaurant, and a drive-through?
So basically, out of the three, the one that I probably struggle more is being on the phone with by having people around me. That happens at work, a lot. And I mean, if there are 20 people around me and they are in silence, and there is no much there is no much sound or voices going on or people speaking, I get really frustrated because it seems like that everyone is hearing me. So mostly what I do, I just get up, I have a walk, and I go around. Drive through. I mean, I don't go. Let's say I don't go at all. I went like twice. I don't go a lot, so that's not. I mean, ordering the restaurant, mostly is fine. I do not delegate that. I just I mean, if I stutter, I stutter. Otherwise, it's not. But the phone, remains still a kind of funny thing. It's strange how my stutter completely changes if there are other people around me who are having a conversation. But if in the room, I'm working in an office with other, 15 people or something like that. So if everyone is in silence, I really struggle to make a call in that room. I eventually do it, depends on the day, Um, Otherwise, I just get up and and do it. But funnily enough, I'm noticing that even how to say Saturday also gets some stress by having a call with other people around, but obviously for them, it's not a matter of speech. So yeah, but the phone, I would still like to improve in that part. To improve, I mean, to improve in the sense that I cannot be bothered. Like, yeah.
Okay, so I'm holding in my hand. Okay, so I know you know what this is, Andrea. Okay, now to all those who are on audio, don't worry. I will also have this on YouTube. So I'm holding a telephone that Pedro was raised on from 1988. Well, no. It was in the early 1970s, all the way up into the 80s. So this is a rotary telephone. And so if you do this, it goes, and I said, oh my God, even the phone is making fun of me. So I was like, I can't win, Andrea. I can't win. And so I always had a hard time on the telephone. I mean, I avoided it like the plague. I would have people call for me and da-da-da. However, there was a point at my job where I said, I have to do this. I have to, because if I don't, I will lose my job. And so what I did was I ordered a corporate telephone off of eBay. I mean, it looked it had looked like what I had in my office. And so every day for 6 months, I practiced. So in my head, I would pretend to answer and then also pretend to make telephone calls for 6 months every single day. So at the end of the half year, I did not have any more anxiety or, a fear. It was all gone. It had become all boring. And so how I had tested it was in my office when I heard it ring, because prior, after I heard it ring, my heart would just hurt, my chest would hurt, I'd be sweating. It was horrible, Andrea. It was horrible. But after that half year, when I heard it ring, hi, I'm Pedro Pena. How may I help you? Just habit, but I practiced every single day for 6 months. For 6 months, I was in my room, acting, hey, how's it going? Oh, things are great. But I mean,
so that's the case.
Yeah,
practice works.
What I tell everybody, we have to work 1,000 times harder than anybody else, because we have a stutter. I mean, it took me almost an hour to do my voicemail. An hour, Andrea, where other people, just do, and you're all done. For me, it took a whole hour. It took a whole hour. But however, after I got older, I said, who cares? Who cares? I mean, I stuttered on every word. Who cares? This is my voicemail. This is Pedro. Take it or leave it. And so, I mean, there is a point in my life or I'm just tired. You know what? It is what it is. I have a stutter. It doesn't define who I am. It's just what I have. And Pedro is awesome. So live with it.
Exactly. But I mean, how when you had to speak on the phone, did you not get tired? Because that's the part that as a professional, now it's the part of stuttering that bothers me. That sometimes when I have a lot of meetings at work in the same day and training, I get at home exhausted.
Ooh,
and I hate it, because
yes.
I love my energy. And that part, and I can feel that it's not. It's not the job is just the anticipation of stuttering and anxiety and fear that all builds up, and at the end of the day, you're just exhausted, And that's what's still bothers me.
And it still happens to me, Andrea. I mean, at the end of the day, I have no energy, because when I wake up, what I do every morning is I talk to myself. Hey, Pedro, this is going to be a great day. This is going to be an awesome day. You have a whole bunch of, trainings and presentations, but you're going to be awesome. It's going to be great. So that's what I tell myself every time I wake up. And then the whole day I'm teaching, I'm training, I'm blocking, I'm repeating, I'm doing my facial tics there. When I get home, Andrea, I just pass out because, I'm sure everyone who's hearing this from all over the world, if you have a stutter, it is physically, not to mention emotionally, psychologically, mentally exhausting. Because, the whole day, all of your organs are just like this. They're all just,
Exactly.
And
Probably after 4 hours of training, you also need a couple of shirts because probably you've been sweating, I get related absolutely to you. I get related to all these feelings, and yeah, and that's why, as you were saying, what we do, we need to put a lot of much more energy, compared to other people.
So we know what we go through on a daily basis. And so what we have to do is educate others because, it's exhausting. It's exhausting, yeah.
It is.
However, we do it. We do it because we're awesome. We are creative. We are resilient. We are courageous, and we are resourceful. I tell everyone that. And it is the truth.
Right.
The truth.
All right.
Okay, Andrea. So here is an interesting question. All right. So if you drink alcohol, I don't know if you do or not, but I'm just asking you. If you drink alcohol, does it help you or hurt your stutter?
So if I drink alcohol, beyond being tipsy, yeah, it does get worse actually. Funnily enough, I don't know why, but it does get worse. So yeah, it does not help me. I still drink because I love my drink. But yeah, and it does not help.
See, so I ask everyone from all over the world, and half it helps, it goes away, it's gone. And the other half, it's harmful. It makes it worse. And so I can only talk for Pedro. I can only do 2 drinks. Andrea Navarra, 2 drinks. I do a rum and Coke, but only 2. And that's it. I don't stutter. It's gone. I don't know where it goes. but it
Amazing.
goes somewhere, Andrea. It goes
It's dangerous,
somewhere.
yeah. It's
And
dangerous.
so, I mean, I am talking 100 miles an hour and this and that and other. But I mean, it's only 2 drinks and it's all gone. And so I've had people tell me, Andrea, Pedro, you need to drink 24 hours a day. No, that is harmful. No, do not do that. Do not do that. But I mean, it's just odd how half, it helps, it goes away, and then the other half, it makes it worse. So it's a head scratcher. It is. So, I just have to ask because I'm curious.
Of course. And I mean, you are in the good side at least of that.
But only 2 drinks and that's it. I'm done. All right. So here we go. Andrea, here's an interesting question. So I want to ask you. So I want to talk about secondaries. Now, a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, I mean speech, therapists, it is called a crutch. It's called a trick, but what I call it is helping out Pedro. So I want to talk about, do you do anything to help you get out of a block, a repetition? Because what I do is I tap my head, I close my eyes, my arms go all over the place. I'm doing everything to just get out the word. So I'm curious if you do that as well.
So that's what I was telling you about before regarding the speech therapy, speech language pathology, and basically, when I'm in that zone that I cannot control my stuttering, it seems like that nothing works. So what I do find useful anyway is to pause, start again. Also because you give your time, you give yourself some time, and that's what I find most useful. I learned, all the other techniques. For example, easy onset. Well, there are a few, but prolongation, and stuff. But prolongation probably is the one that it does help, especially when you start, for example, on the phone or when you meet someone, hi, I'm Andrea, so prolongation, it does give you that time to probably to relax at the beginning of the sentence. But the other techniques, I'm afraid, but they don't work for me.
See, and I mean, you hit on a word that I believe is underrated. The pause. Anyone will tell you, a coach, an attorney, a teacher, a therapist, the pause is very important. And a whole bunch of us, me included, we don't do it. But I learn every day, Andrea. I learn every day. I will continue to learn every day about the pause, because I will just hit it off and I will have a repetition and blocking that. But if I pause and then I speak, it's weird. So, I mean, it's helpful. But there are a lot of people who don't know about the pause. So I'm telling everybody, if you're asked a question, just take a pause and then answer the question. I mean, it's weird, but when I do it now. And so it does help. So but I mean, I have done everything. I have used accents, horrible accents, Andrea. I had people in the UK who are upset with me because I do a British accent. They're still angry at Pedro, but I do everything to help me out because I want to get it out. And I mean, I don't care how long it takes. I will do everything, but I mean, it will come out. And so, but I mean, I was the king of secondaries. I mean, I tried everything but I am now at a point where, look, I'm going to block. I'm going to repeat. It will come out. All all that I'm asking of you is patience and a grace, because it will come out, but it will take me just a little time. So all I want is just a little grace and your patience and respect. Because I've had people, Andrea, who, when I have a block, they look at their watch like I'm wasting their time. I had a person when I had a severe block and my eyes completely had closed. After I reopened them, the person was gone. I'm like, rude.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I move on.
Yeah.
I move on. But
Of course. Yeah. I mean, these experiences, either you take them, in a positive way, and you forget about them, and that's it. But at some point, they will come to your mind, and they will make, an effect, in your, you will remember them as, as a negative experience, but the important is it is to pass on them. But I think it is again, education, and people have to know that just as other people have other handicaps, which they need to be patient for. This is one of them. I mean.
All right, sir. So here is an interesting question. Have you ever experienced a phase in your speech? As in, on Monday, everything comes out. On Tuesday, nothing comes out. On Wednesday, everything comes out. I mean, do you ever experience phases in your speech?
I would say it is phases, and also it is my stuttering. It's also cyclic, in the sense that there are periods of time in which I do not stutter, and there are periods of time in which I stutter, like to get words out is just so tiring, and that's, I think that's something that also I think bothers most of the stutters, because you cannot get it in control. So, for example, if you're having a good a positive time, if you're stuttering and you think that you are in control, because you say, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this, then you wake up in the morning, disaster, that empire falls down. It's and that's really frustrating, because also externally people would, like you say, oh, man, what's happening to you? I mean, yesterday you were so fluid, and now what's happening with you? So it's something that you can relate even in people's eyes. Say, okay, what's going on with you, mate? So, yeah, and definitely that's something which it's a part of the stuttering which frustrates me a lot.
Let me tell you, Andrea Navarra, I've had people tell me that after a whole day of everything comes out. I was told you are faking it for attention. What? Are you kidding me? I mean, just completely just blew me away. Why would it's? And so I educate. I have no control. I have no control over what comes out. It happens when it happens. It don't matter if I'm anxious. It don't matter if I'm confident. It comes out how it comes out. And so I had to educate that individual. Look, I mean, there is no control. It just happens when it happens. It's from the brain. It is neurological. It comes from the brain. I have no control over this. And so it's just, I'm always educating, because I mean, there are still a lot of people out there. Oh, you all you want is attention. No, that is not.
So you still get.
Yeah, it's.
So still in 2025, you get people, you get those type of fans, or because I personally, fortunately, I never experienced, because so otherwise I would tell them off. In that case, I'm not gonna educate, I'm gonna educate in a bad way.
All right, so here's a hot topic question. I mean, this is hot, Andrea Navarra. This is hot. So I ask everyone on my podcast. All of the answers are split right down the middle. But I'm curious. So here it comes. The hot topic question. Do you let others help you finish your sentences? Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I mean, I was never. Yeah, I mean, it does bother me, you know. Sometimes is if someone does it, but the same time, you know, I never had, you know, the you know the probably the courage or the urgency to say, okay, no, please don't, you know, let me finish my words. You know, I never said it. I mean, it doesn't not happen, you know, a lot. Because I find most of the people, it depends in which part of the world you are. They don't. Most of the people at least in my experience, seem to not to don't finish, you know, to not finish, you know, your sentence, you know, because they try to be respectful and understanding. But yeah, when it happens, I mean, I don't say anything. And to be honest, mostly I'm not even bothered, you know. It's more so when I finish my sentences and they know what I'm saying is fine. If someone is trying to guess what I'm trying to say, that really it still pisses me off, you know.
Andrea, you know, so in the early 80s, you know, the 1980s, because I'm way older than you are, sir. In the early 80s and the high 90s, it would anger me. It would anger me because I knew what I wanted to say. It's right in here, but it would not come out. And so I would have people do it, and half the time it was wrong. And so I would rage. Andrea, I would get so upset. I got ulcers in high school. I got so upset. However, the older Pedro, you know, I just turned 55. I'm still young. And so the older Pedro, and so I can only speak for me. Because we're all different. We're all different. But for me, if I have a block, you know, just help out Pedro. I don't mind, you know. However, please have it correct. Because if it isn't, then I have to go back in my head to help you. It's exhausting, Andrea. You hit it on the head. It is exhausting. At the end of the day, it is exhausting that, I mean, I am at a point in my life where, you know, I'm just tired. You know, I'm tired. I'm, you know, half of 100, you know, I'm getting up there. And so if you know what I'm trying to say, it is always appropriate to ask, because I've had a lot of people ask me, Pedro, is it okay? Yeah, it is. It's awesome. You know, because I believe that teamwork makes the dream work. And so I will have them ask me, it is always appropriate to ask, is it okay if I, now we're all different, but for me, it's all good. But please get it right. Please get it right. Because if it isn't, that's a whole other podcast that I will cover. But I mean, it is a hot topic because there are a lot of people who have a stutter. If you do that, it is no good. It is not good at all. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I think that if you would react in a negative way, you will break that. You will break. I think that you know, that atmosphere, you know, in conversation. So I think that I do not do it because, you know, it makes weird then talking to this person who you are having a block. And this person cannot help you out, but he wants to help you out. So then, you know, I think it just becomes weird. You know, I mean, I don't know. That's how I would see it. it would create anxiety in the whole conversation. So I just rather, be angry if it's gonna guess the wrong word.
I mean, because there's a lot that is going on in a conversation. There is a lot because, I mean, I don't know if you do this, but, I do this. As I'm having a conversation, I can see all the words in my head. I can see all the words that are coming. And if there's a hard word, I'll switch it. All in all, as I'm still talking to the individual, I'm doing this in my head. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's just exhausting. But I mean, I gotta do what I gotta do. Life goes on. Yeah.
But going back actually to your point, the one thing that I was never able to do it, or that I never practice it. I mean, I never find it useful, or I never actually practice it. Is to substitute words. It's something that I never did, and I mean, I just block, and it depends, and it does depend on my on how my stuttering is at that point in time. But I do not have a lot of control of words in my head, so I do not project words before speaking. Obviously, if I'm having a bad time, yes, because I mean, by the time that the words came in in my brain, that's long before that I'm able to say something. But in the other way, it's not. So if I'm having a good cyclic time in stuttering, so that happens naturally, fortunately. But yeah, I mean, because I believe that's also the other way. I think that I feel that sometimes the more you control it, for me, and the more I stutter. So I really try not to control it.
Yeah, it's just crazy because I mean, I know a lot of hard words. I do have a master's degree, and I know a lot of hard words, but I cannot. I stutter on every letter of the alphabet. And if there's a word that I cannot say, I'll just, in my head, I'll switch it. And then, it works half of the time. And the other half, you know what? It is what it is. I'll get it out when I get it out, But yeah.
Fair.
Okay, so here is an interesting question that I ask everybody. Well, yeah, everybody around the world. So let me ask you this, Andrea. So we all have that, a voice in our head. Now, it could be a positive voice. It could be a negative one. I've always had a negative one in my head for years and decades, And so how I would handle it is I gave him a name. I call him Oscar the grouch, because he would tell me every day, you cannot talk on the phone, you cannot do that homework, I mean every single day he told me that that I have a stutter, I cannot talk on the phone, I cannot do. So how I handled him is I just shut him down. So have you ever experienced a negative self-talk?
Yeah. So I find it the other day actually I was thinking about it, and basically I was reflecting on the fact that when I have to do an activity which is either technical or art, or it's something related to my family, it's funny how rather than thinking at the technical part, or what I have to say, what I have to do, if there is a situation which speaking would be a struggle, or which would be part of this activity, immediately I think about the speaking part. Rather than say, "Oh, Andrea, look, like you should prepare yourself better on that presentation, on the technical, or maybe you should see that part better. Should focus more, on on something in particular. Reader, my brain goes directly to the speaking part, and it's stuck there. So at some point, I really need to tell me, okay, Andrea, stop. That's not the whole thing. Okay, it's just a part of it. So concentrate on the other part, which will also help the speaking part of the activity of the project or whatever it is, and so yes, I think that's my my negative inner voice. I think, because it seems like that everything I need to relate to stuttering, but that does not have to be in that way, because I mean, in the end of the day, whatever I do and whatever I wanted to do, I do it. I switched till now. I switched, for example, for countries where I lived in. I switched jobs and different careers. So so for sure, I'm not being a holding back. Going back to the projects part, that should give me even more confidence. On how you portray things in life, but seems like that still, still there's that stuttering part of you that makes you think that everything you have to do, you need to relate it to stuttering.
Ooh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Woo woo. All right. So here is a head scratcher. This is a head scratcher. So, half of everyone I ask, they say no, half say yes. So I'm just, I'm curious. So when you are alone, can you speak without stuttering? I'm just curious.
Yeah, yes. I mean, when I used to read aloud a lot, when I used to read aloud to practice, yeah, I mean, I do not stutter.
See, I am your opposite. When I'm alone, I block, I repeat, because it's weird, because, I will go over, in my head and talk out loud, here is what I have to do, and go there and talk to this person. I block, I repeat, but it is what it is, It don't matter if I'm alone or with people. Yeah. It just comes, Andrea. It just comes.
In that case.
It's just random. It's just random. So I was just, curious. All right. So here is a question about a situation that you might have encountered in your whole life. So I want to ask you this. So, have you ever been in a situation as to where you could not say your whole name? So as an example, if you had an appointment at a doctor's office and you walked in and, and the admin person who is at a desk, they say hi, and they greet you, and they ask you for your name, and then there's a block. But I'm not talking a regular block. It's a long block. And then the admin person will ask you, did you forget your name? Has it ever happened to you, Andrea?
Fortunately, I never got. I never got to be asked, did you forget your name? But I think it's countless the times where mostly where I was presented by other people. So as you have explained now, that I blocked on my name, and that's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Still now, I think that to say, okay, I'm Andrea. Still, it is a problem, Still, I find this as a triggering point, which is really strange, because then I can probably say all the conversation, In fact, for example, when I go to conferences, still now, and you make a comment through the conference, I never say, I'm Andrea, I work for blah, 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 I just go directly to my question.
Oh my God. I mean, if I had a quarter every time it happened, I'd have a house in Greece and Italy, And in the UK, I mean, it's just, and the old Pedro, I would get angry, upset, and rage. But the older Pedro, the calmer one, I take that time to educate that individual, and here is why. Because after I educate him or her, so if it should happen again, that admin person will have the education, to handle the other person in a better way, because I mean, in my head, if you know better, you do better. That's how I think. And but I mean, it still happens. I'm, it may take me a minute or two, but it's okay. I'll get it out. You know, but I still get asked that in a joking way. So I just, I pause. I learned how to pause. I pause and then I educate. Here is what I have. Da, da, da. So, yeah, I mean, it is a constant, a continual, a journey. But I mean, I still do it because our voice, it matters. It matters 100%.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So, Andrea, here we go. So, I want to know, what are your thoughts about people who stutter, who are portrayed in our films and in our media? What are your thoughts? Good or bad?
Well, it is really good that we get that we as a stutter we get out there, because the more we get out there and the more we normalize our way of speaking, because in the end of the day, it's just another way of how to speak. But if there is just the normal fluent people who I mean who are who are part of who are part of TV and programs and medias, we will never be there. So people will never be educated. So I think it is the best way actually of being there as a starter. It is really important, because I mean it gives us a representation in a bigger setting, which is not just a company or an office or a group of people.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I am right there with you. I'm right there with you. I want people who have a stutter, at an anchor desk, handing us our news. I want an actor who has a stutter. I mean, I want everyone out there, because it is important to show the world that we are here. We have a voice. Because I mean, there are a bunch of movies who have us in a light of, we don't have intelligence, and this, so I mean, I want to break the mold, and and have us everywhere, and so that way, here we are taking up space. Our voice matters. We just have a stutter. We are highly intelligent. I have a master's degree and you're in college. I mean, we are intelligent individuals. And so, yeah, I mean, I want us out there, in all aspects, because our voice matters. It really does.
Yes. No, however, I also have a master degree. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm working. I'm not studying anymore. Yes. Well, I mean, I do study, but not at university
Well,
anymore. Yeah.
it is awesome, because you and I both have a graduate degree, and I mean, it took work. It took work to have that handled. So yes, awesome. We got our masters. We have a master's degree. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so here is a very tough question. So I ask everybody. All of the answers are split right down the middle. I respect everyone's answers. All right, so here we go. Andrea, do you consider stuttering as a disability?
So let me tell you. So probably I did mention before. I mean, I truly think that at some level it is a disability in the sense that in the sense that if we forget how the person handles the stuttering, that's another topic, how you handle it, what's your personality. Did you come out? Were you able to overcome the stuttering? Have you brought the stuttering to be zero visible? But it is a disability in the sense that it does impede you at a certain level of communicating how the society wants. So how to be completely integrated into all aspects of the society, not to be impacted by it. That's for me the let's say the how I view disability. Basically, the moment that you have something that does impact your life into society, it is a disability, I believe. But it ranges from all kinds of different different experiences by person, because it really varies a lot, as you know. So yes, so I do also, I do also understand the people who that view it in another way, maybe because they just view it in another way. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for that. I thank you for that. All right, so I want to talk about your career path. Had you ever considered that your stutter might hinder your career path?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, sir. I do think that it does impede you to get a promotion, for example, in many cases, or to get through interviews without doing a lot of hard work by practicing always the question that might be asked during the interview process, relationship with colleagues, with other people. So I think that, yeah, for sure it was there. For sure it was in my thoughts, for sure. But in the other way, I don't think that I was never ever held back by my thoughts, and that's, I think, I need to be grateful on that for myself, because I could always, I could always get that gear up, and say, okay, I just go on it, I just pass over it, and I continue on fighting, so I do not get hung up on my thoughts. So but yes, generally speaking, I think, as we said also before, it does impact, a lot of people who stutter, and I think especially in terms of promotions, as you were saying, is in a lot of job description, excellent communication. So
yes, I do not like those two words, excellent communication. They are my nemesis. I thank you for that, sir. I thank you. So here is another hot topic. All right, so I know that you are married, but I still have to ask this. So I want to talk about dating. So how was it with having a stutter?
Strangely enough, I was always the extrovert friend of the group, who used to approach girls for others, and so in that way, I never had issues. In in that way. So, but also because, as I told you before, I had this really good time, for 10 years between 18 and 28. That I don't know. It seems like that I'd almost forgotten about my stuttering, and then it came out again when I was close to 30. So, and that and that was the peak of the dating time.
Oh yes,
So,
sir. I mean,
yeah.
I talk to a lot of people who have a stutter and they go, "Oh no, I can't." But I mean, this is how I see it. Just do it. Yeah, I mean, because in my opinion, I'm only talking about Pedro. With having a stutter, it shows me who people truly are. It really does. Because if I'm having a conversation, and the other person, has good eye contact and they're hearing me, and I mean, and eh, and it is a good interaction, that's awesome. However, if there is a person and if I'm having a block, and they, smirk and and make an off comment, then you are not worthy of my time. So, and there are a lot of people out there who are superficial. I mean, yes, I said it. They're superficial, but there are some people out there who will love you for you. They will truly love you for you. It don't matter if you have a mohawk. It don't matter if your hair is purple. It don't matter if you have a stutter. They love you, for you. So I tell everybody, just go and do it. I mean, what is the worst that can happen? I mean, you just have to do it. You have to go out there and because I mean, it has to happen sometime or other. So yeah.
Yeah, I think on this the issue is that some people, they might not know why they're not they're not actually doing it, because you might be blaming stuttering, but in the end you might not do because of your personality that does not allow you.
Yes.
And
no.
yeah,
I mean,
please,
you
go
make
on.
a great point. And then I've had people who have told me this. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but I've had people say your stutter is cute. No. I object.
No, I never.
The one thing it is not is cute. So next. That's just me, Andrea. That's just me. I'm sorry. Okay. I went off on a tangent. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, so let's move on, Andrea. Hashtag awkward silence. All right, so here we go. All right, so I want to ask you this. All right, so how do you feel about all this, all of this new technology? You have Siri, Alexa, and Google. So do you think all of this voice activated technology is helpful or hurtful for people who stutter?
Yeah. So as we're talking about educating, I think now it's a matter of educating the developers, because developers must fit us in. Because obviously, I mean, I don't order drive in, but I mean, if driving is gonna be recognized only by AI, it's gonna be a problem for people who stutter if these systems are not integrated with some system that can understand the people who stutter. It's gonna be a problem, and I mean, you need that person, Also, also for starter, it's important that you build up, that experience with a person seeing facial expression, going through that experience. And if AI is gonna cut off all that, I mean, it's a problem. But yeah, I mean, surely it's not something that is gonna be asked to us whether we like it or not. But so I think it's gonna happen. It is happening already, and I think that again, it is important to point out these issues out there, and to try to make the developers of system understanding that this has to be.
See, and 100%. And so it is happening right as we speak. If ever I have to use, which is extremely short, but if I have to use Siri or Alexa, if you're asking a question and then they ask another question and then I have a block, I will hear, I didn't hear that. I did not get that. And then I get what I didn't ask for, which just makes everything more frustrating. So, to all those who are helping with Alexa, Google Home, Siri, we just need extra time. We all that I want is a little grace, a little time. Because I mean, it's helpful. However, it's not helping me yet. It's not helping me yet. Yes, and
yeah, I mean, on the positive notes, but Alexa can be helpful to practice. I mean, in the sense that if it's understanding you, okay, that's great, and you can use it at home multiple times actually to practice your speech or your presentation.
100%, sir. I agree. Yes, sir. Awesome. Okay, so here's our next question. So what is a challenge speech-wise that you had to overcome, and how did you do it?
So I think that I'm still in the phase that still experiencing this training part, this putting yourself out there as the main communicator, and that's something that it seems I've been doing for a while now, but it seems like that it is new. It is new every time you do. So, but yeah, I approach always with this. I always approach in the way that I have to. It is beneficial to you. I need it, and I want to do it. So that's how I do approach it, and that's the way how I think that how everybody they should do it. So yeah, that's the challenging part. Yeah. Then yeah, I mean speaking with people with how is it called, with people with superiority, which they have a higher hierarchy compared to you, which I find that is it's actually a common problem for people who stutter. That's also something that it is still a challenge, for some reason, so I need to overcome on that also. I mean, to improve, to try to be more in control. Like,
awesome, sir. 100%. Awesome. I thank you for that. So what advice would you give to someone who has just started their journey with stuttering?
It's important to care about of the person that you are, to truly understand who you are, and not to get interfered by stuttering. in the sense that once you concentrate yourself only on the stuttering, then you might forget the other parts, which in communication are really important, showing confidence, knowledge, proper communication skills. Because I think a lot of stutterers, and I've been there, what we do is to concentrate too much on the stuttering part, and then we forget the other aspects which are just as important, and which they help you into stuttering. And then, the other advice is just keep on going. That's the moment that you stop, the moment that you hold back yourself, it's gonna be the negative. So it's important not to be held back by stuttering. As humans, we all have our limits, and that's why I said at first it's important to understand who you are and your capabilities outside of stuttering. Because if you are blaming stuttering for something that you might not do anyway, so you might start an internal fight that it won't that it will not result in a positive in a positive way.
Oh, 100%, sir. Because I talk to a lot of people who have a stutter, and how do I do this? I cannot do this. My whole life is over. And so what I tell them is everything that you want in a life is on the other side of a fear. And what I had to learn is I had to step out of my comfort zone, which I was really good in my comfort zone, Andrea. It was warm, it was nice, but I had to survive in our world, in a job, in a career. So I had to step out of my comfort zone, and I would go and talk to people on the street, and there were days where it was horrible. And however, I did have a bunch of days that were okay, and good. But as I did that every single day, I built up the momentum as to where, as I did it, I learned out of each interaction, which helped me in all aspects. So I tell people, if you are afraid to talk to people just every day, all you have to do is just a simple task, and do it. If it's horrible, it happened, you move on, and then you move on, and then you move on. Because it is how I got to where I am right now. Because I had a severe, when I tell you, Andrea, I had 0% speech. 0. I didn't have anything. But after 20 years of speech therapy and hypnosis and meditation, I am where I am right now because of the 20 years of hard work. So I tell everybody, you have to step out of your comfort zone because you will be surprised at what you can do. Because we all,
it's really important to build up this thick skin, which it takes a lot of effort, as you said, because it's not easy, to get these negative feedbacks from people. People who you don't know, but that's the reality. And the more you face it, and the more you get used to it, and the more you'll be careless about this negative experience.
Ooh, yes, sir. 100%. Awesome. All right. So I heard you talk about this. However, I want the entire answer. I want the entire awesome answer. So here we go. So do you believe it's okay to stutter, or is it crucial to keep striving for fluency?
I think the best answer on this is whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you comfortable with your speech is great, because if you want to find your freedom and your happiness by having a 100% no block experience in communication and in your speech, if that's your goal and that's what makes you happy, that's great. Okay, go for it. If you can ever achieve it, that's the other issue. So it's important to focus. I think instinctively we, society, people, yourself, you are pressured yourself, to improve your fluency. But as we are seeing progressively, therapies are changing. Influence is not the focus anymore. I think it's really important because we perhaps fluency, being in control of your speech, perhaps you can achieve a good fluency, but it makes you stressed. So, and that does not let you free. Your conversation could be really structured, and so the experience will be very different from a normal deliberate conversation. So I think the answer is really individual, but unfortunately it is easy to fall into I do not want to stutter.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I thank you for that. Because what I tell everybody, whatever a journey that you are on, I support you. Whatever. Because I can only speak for Pedro. I have embraced it, accepted it, and as I did that, years of shame and guilt, it went away, all gone. But for others, if you want a device in your ear or a medication, you do your homework and your research. And if you feel that it is right for you, I am in your corner. I support you. Because each of our journeys are different, but I can only speak for Pedro. I have embraced it because I've had it. I've had mine since the age of 5 years old. So I've had it for 50 years. 50 years of, let me tell you, Andrea. Woo. However, I am at a point in my life where I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy it because, I fought it, Andrea. I fought it every single day. And, I was, extremely exhausted, extremely, because I fought it. But, after I embraced it, accepted it, there is freedom in letting it go. And, and so I am at a point in my life where I'm at peace because it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So I thank you, sir, for that. I thank you.
Yes.
So here is a very deep question, and I'm curious. So what has your stutter taught you?
think my study has really taught me that it's fine to be vulnerable. I think it's taught me to look at at people in a different way. That that people, they might look in front of your house in a way, but they might be going through a lot of a lot of issues, topics, and that you will never know what a person is going through unless you know a person really deep. I think it has taught me for sure courage, and I think persistence is really important. And this is something that I think as a starter, if you do not have it, it's better than that you get to be working on, because otherwise it will be sure, because they use most of, not for all starters, but for most of starters that I met, I mean, stuttering is like hills, going up and down, going a bit more down and then up again. So it's important to embrace such skills. So these are, yeah. So the main things that stuttering taught me.
Oh, sir, I thank you for that. Awesome. So here's a very emotional question. This one's deep, so if you have some tissues, have them out. So if you could travel back in time and speak to your younger self, what advice would you give to your younger self?
It will be, it's fine. Don't worry. Be confident anyway.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. Andrea, woo! I mean, those are powerful words. Ooh, okay. All right, I'm good. All right. So here's our last question, and it's a big one. So here we go. So if you had the opportunity to share insights about stuttering on a global stage, what message would you convey?
For sure, I will pass the message that it's important. The message that what we go through, what how much hard work it's required for us to speak and to communicate. And I think by sharing this struggle, other people would would relate to it with other disabilities and issues. So and also it will be very important to make people understanding, to look beyond stuttering. I mean, I think that in 2025, we will need to pause, not just us that stutters and that have this fluency issue. We all need to relax. We all need to stop. We all need to look around. We all need to look out at the small things in life. So I think it's let's have this space to relate to each other, to communicate, not just on a sympathy level. Let's just communicate as human beings, and that's what I think what stuttering brings to the table for you, if you are patient enough to listen to this person. Yeah. I think those are really important messages for people.
That is awesome, sir. Ooh. Goosebumps. I have goosebumps. That was an awesome message. Ooh. Well, Andrea, we have been talking for almost 2 hours, and I mean, the whole time has just flown by, because I have enjoyed our conversation. You are truly awesome. I want to thank you, for being on, on this a podcast, because I believe there's healing in sharing. I truly believe that. And so all over the world, I am in 141 countries on 6 continents, and that is a blessing. That is a blessing. So everyone around the world can hear you and go, look, he is like me. He is like me. He is in school. He has a master's. He's out there. He is on the radio. A person who has a stutter. How cool is, uh, that? And so from my heart, sir, I want to tell you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are truly awesome, and I thank you.
Thank you, Pedro. From my end, I really want to thank you for follow to creating these amazing platforms. Who gives I think a lot of hope to other people who stutters. A lot of good insight, good advices, as it has been for me as well. And I think that what you are doing, what you are, what you are doing with this. With this activity is really important because this is the way how to educate people and also to make people who started feel that they are heard and not just bypassed.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Okay, now, so if anyone from around the world, because it'll happen, if anyone who is hearing this podcast from all over the world, if they had a question to ask you, what would be the best way to have them reach out to you?
Yes, no. People can reach out to me by email or LinkedIn. That's absolutely great. However they prefer, and really welcome everyone.
I will have the links in the podcast show notes, and so that way anybody from around the world can have access and and reach out to you, because what I believe is that if we help each other, that's just it's in in my head, that is why I'm here, to help others, and then also to support other people who have a stutter. So, sir, I want to thank I want to thank you again. And then also, I want to do it again because I have hundreds of other questions. Hundreds. I mean, here is only half 100, but I have 100 other questions in which I want to ask you. So down the road, how about we do this again, sir?
Absolutely. I will be really happy, to participate again and to contribute to your to your amazing project, And it has been a great pleasure talking to you, and I think so I'll be just happy to do it again,
Thank you very much, sir. And so I hope you have a great evening. I know here in Texas it is 2 p.m. and then in Italy it is, I believe, 8 p.m. All right.
Yes.
And
exactly,
so, sir,
yes. Yeah,
you know what? I want to thank you for hanging on. This has been awesome.
It was amazing for me, and thank you, Pedro, for doing this, for me and for all these great community.
Thank you, sir. You have an awesome evening. Take care, be well, and stay safe.
Thank you, Pedro. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you so much.
Sir.
If you like this podcast, head on over to Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you for listening, and we will talk again.